About that robbery in the file? What's that? It's not. It's over a month ago. For this year. It's not my name. It's 18 of us. Of course. Let me help you. Back here. Yourself. Thank you. I don't have any footage any clearer. And no, I don't have. So. Where did you put it?
And they've got encryption technology now. It's a line from check stuff. You will. The kitchen of your dreams. In your mom's at a price and dream time. That right? Pizza. Now it's right. Start a new favorite garlic. New sweet cinnamon. Parmesan. Pizza. Me too, bread base. Today, self-mix. COPD is an ugly reality. Watch as this world just keeps getting smaller. But then, Relegy helped us see things a little differently. 3 medicines in one inhaler. Relegy is open for a full 24 hours and prevents future flares. Stage Trelegy also improves lung function, so you can breathe more freely all day and night.
Trilogy won't replace the rescue inhaler for sudden breathing problems. Tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before take Trilogy more to prescribe. Trilogy may increase your risk of thrushing and osteoporosis. Call your doctor for breathing, chest pain, mouth or swallowing problems, urinating, visual changes in lung and your heart.
To pursue PT because breathing should be beautiful all day and night.
Uh-huh. I do my kids in your house. Well, you say, oh,
To keep the building to sorry. And it's gonna be so mad. Who's wrong? Do you think oh my it's gonna be girl? She'll love it. It's not her family fighting from her family during the holidays. My husband's had the same sweatshirt for so long. Has a name for it. Midnight Thunder. So Midnight Thunder. That's terrible. They know Merry Christmas. You. Hello, handsome.
yes, I was following once, but I never started. All town. For tourist website. Check local shop, salvage shop. You might get lucky. Get better traffic. I'm gonna put in the text.
Here's the stuff that is the convenience store and his Russian facial park. Let's just not talk about it right now. Sorry. Okay, let's check.
Great choice. What? I went up to the man. Can't see what they need. I hit on facial rash. His name, normal. 2 years old, all in Chicago. Just what you were in high school last year. Seemed like he's been the city for you have to see, start digging into them. First contacted, I'm gonna notify myself. Too late, but your son. No, like the dog's down. But looking off the phone with Noah's family in Indiana. They said, this is what happens when you live life instead. So Noah came out as gay, how much ago they kicked him out. Just so they won't be getting updates on the abduction as though it's no longer their son. He's been missing 3 hours, telling me have something. No hits on the ball yet. Oh, himself.
I took a bus into Chicago 2 months ago. Both got no hits on shelters, hotels, hostels. We have no idea where his lady's head.
And the kids got no active credit cards. Cars that phone, they no friends or family in the city. Seems like something going on here.
It's narcotics. Lab that took the drugs of MDMA basically connect. Then deals in that area. Got DJ shows. Was a red octagon killer and is known for abducting and torturing clients. Seriously, yeah. He's suspected of doing it 4 times, was only arrested twice. 3 that in unlawful restraint, and then she had both cases per trial. Almost exact. Jones advanced natural offender stats in the videotapes. The MO matched the previous 4 abductions, and Jones's prints were found on the back of the trunk of the receiver. He practically left us at home. I went to his house. This was empty.
Going down.
Starch. One more thing, Chapman is a new prosecutor in both previous cases.
Is there now? Jones is home.
I'm not surprised. Nothing he's smart. He believes in the police.
What technicalities are we talking?
He claims a vehicle search on one. And the next was that user and Jones's strong lawyer dug up some skeletons and the victim recanted. But there was never any fault. Jones was our man in both cases.
How do we find them?
Hey, do you see my desk?
These are current missing.
No, but that was personally handed to me.
Give you a pep talk.
I would close it where it should be.
In more cases, you keep promise.
It's a work of my own desk. Thank you. You can talk.
Kid 19. He's just a judge. His family told me. They said this is his fault because he denounced God being gay. No one else should do it on this. It's not looking for.
MO is always the same. Give it to customers who don't pay. He uses a stolen vehicle, takes it from a private location, and then uses a tap camera to rip their kneecaps. So, yeah, don't have to touch them. Usually hold them for about 10 hours, and then bring them to a public location and make them follow safety.
Well, that's been too long. Good enough. We spot. Did you have any company with?
No, victims are just talking fear.
You could really make that the thoroughfare into the section and then, in deeper part of the neighborhood. The bottom left, that's what you see when you come out of the parking lot at the park. It's a former house with a big hole on the left side and an overgrown lawn. The middle one is Kerr Street. Clearly, they could use some help there, remove that tree. And then the last one, that's when you see when you come out of the park altogether across from the church. So it's not, I think, the appearance that is inspiring and so on, and something that we'd really like to see some work on. So as we get into, I would really clarify this as aesthetic improvements beyond the Northeast Park. So extend plantings from the blacksmith shop all the way up Boundary. Really make that a thoroughfare into the neighborhood. Welcome people. Ensure regular lawn maintenance on the corner of Boundary and School. Add plantings to the Boundary Avenue entry. If you come on Market Street, I mean, I think there's really some things that could be done. We had a very, very preliminary discussion with some folks who own some property down there. There's vacant buildings I think were supposed to come down during the last grant that for whatever reason haven't. And then prioritizing and funding perhaps a one-time program to remove or prune dead trees and remove abandoned vehicles and property. So I understand, I'm to the closing part here. I understand that's a lot and that's difficult. So my action to request from you tonight is please consider assigning a small community-led group to work with a designated town council member on a detailed plan that would include tactics, costs, timing to be presented back to you. And this is a push, a stretch goal, but by the end of the first quarter, so that you can think about that. Because if you think about something like this, it's going to require perhaps, legal involvement, maybe the EDA, maybe the planning commission, tree board, et cetera, et cetera. So there's a lot of moving pieces here, but we don't have to take forever to do this. And I think we owe the neighborhood and we owe ourselves, come back with a plan that, could be really discussed and actioned, if not fully, at least some parts, and try to make a big step on this. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Any questions for Jeff on this here?
Yeah,
Okay.
Jeff, and the rest of them are tired of hearing it. What is your plan for maintenance of these plantings? The trees have to receive an inch of water a week for the next year.
Yeah.
Who's gonna do that?
Well, I anticipated that question. You will definitely have volunteers who go before, better night in their sleeves and so on. But it reminded me when they planted the crepe myrtles, the length of Route 13. It can be done. And I think what you'll find, doesn't matter which group you speak to, people when they live in a neighborhood that don't live in it want this done.
Okay, as long as there's a coordinated way to keep these things, and of course, in the first action group you were talking about, that's, OBCA money, and I'm certain you're cautious about spending that as we are about public money. My next question, and tell me if I'm wrong, but didn't I read about the Outlaw Museum receiving something like a $64,000 grant recently?
That is correct.
And what does that cover, Mr. Boyd?
Repairs to the building.
Okay, everybody can hear now.
Here.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's terrific. And so I remember from our last meeting, I think we approved 8,000, so that brings it up to a total of 72,000 that you would have to spend on that building. Is that correct?
That is correct. We will be asking, because we have the 64,000
Right,
for the repairs. We asked for the 10,000 for the same.
that's right, it was 10.
So we're going to be approaching you again and asking for a redirection. So.
Okay. Let's see. Okay. I had a question about what all was included in these improvements that might be overlapping the DCHD grant that, the Community Development Block Grant Fund. Yeah. What's the overlap
The
between these?
overlap in this would be the, just demolition of the buildings. Because there were 3 homes that were included in the grant that couldn't prove clear title. So we weren't able to do the demolition that we had hoped for in the grant. So those same properties, they're still not going to be able to show clear title. So I'm not exactly sure what the move forward is ahead, but that's why.
Well, the title's got to be cleared before anyone could demolish it.
Yes.
Which reduces
How
the
is-
heat. Because however, there's a little less than.
Some of it is just heat for family.
What the?
Instead of it on and out, not being done, so it doesn't all have to require money, but it requires the right people having conversations. That's why I say, this is complicated and small, but I think it's achievable.
And get your free.
Usually legal steps, because so often, one family member isn't agreeable to what the others want to do, et cetera.
I'm hoping we can do it before we do that, but have the right people in place.
My recommendation would be to approach ANBDC because they have all of the legal paperwork that they needed in order to demolish these buildings, and they have all of the owners' names. And that's where they just couldn't get the third signature, for example,
Yeah.
because they don't live nearby, or it was somebody that left it to the family and it split up and somebody passed, or, it's just a messy title. That's all.
Legal ways.
Let's get back
Okay.
off. We're getting in the weeds here. My question is that you're asking for permission to plant some plants we're using OBCA money. You want permission to do that right away. From phase one, yeah. We don't have anything to do with that. Right.
I need to speak clear.
And then don't get me wrong, you want to form a committee that kind of looks at this overall plan and reports back to the council again, correct?
Well, we left at 10:15 p.m.
So, and would they be looking at, because this is the first we've seen of your plan for the actual park where the picnic tables are going to go and everything like that. So is that committee going to look at that, or is that already done? But you're asking for funding for that, for the town, okay, all right, I just want to get clear. So, all right, so,
Well, there was, on step 2, you mentioned signage, but we've also got the issue of wayfinding signage on Market Street, which might have some overlap there.
that needs,
So I think step 2 should probably wait for the committee.
yeah, I think so, yeah.
Things to be worked out.
That obviously is off market, that could be done now. But I think of that step 2, the key piece, you don't want to have a repeat of people not being able to use the park fully.
Right.
We really need to think about benches.
Yeah. No, I think we're committed to do something with the benches and the tables. But this is the first plan this sounds like a good plan. Council, other council comments, Joy?
Who is on your committee?
But,
Yeah.
so, and it's an informal video. We don't- Dan Simpson's on it.
Streets they were clear.
Keep going.
After being there, was the front plug in the last one, I don't quite know it.
People around.
Nothing to turn out.
That is good to hear. When I first entered the Northeast neighborhood to knock on doors 8 years ago, I was met on the corner one day of Spady and Boundary by the president of the NAACP. And he asked me what was my number one priority for the neighborhood. And I said, I don't have a priority for the neighborhood, but the neighborhood is telling me they want a basketball court. So kudos to us. We have a basketball court in the Northeast neighborhood, and kudos to you and your committee for working to improve it. Thank you.
Elisa?
I have a question about the fence between the park. Is that somebody want that, or is it kind of just there, or is it functional?
The one that,
Yeah, the chain link fence, that doesn't look very exciting.
well, yeah, and I don't think I mentioned that, one of the ideas actually Dana Simpson came up with, like a lot, is painting the fence. And that's fairly easy to do, and I had a $400 OBCA would give me $3 to keep that.
So we want to keep the fence.
Keep the fence with the plan.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Lisa, I didn't mention it, but one of the things that we were able to do with the CATS team is Acromat fence, fix that fence. In the
Okay.
summer, those will all fall down.
Okay. Did you have more questions?
Anybody other questions?
Did you get an
No, I
answer
can't.
to
I have to
Lonnie?
ask him to mute.
No, not really. What did,
I will say my one comment on top of that is for the benches and tables and stuff, I'm wondering if that should be part of a larger town plan. Cause we have other parks too that we need to also do. And maybe that would buying in bulk might make sense. So that was another pondering I had.
Wouldn't it be great to have a Parks and Recreation person that could oversee
Sure.
all the parks and plan? Yes, it would be.
And
It would be
$80,000
great.
later, we shall have it.
Well, we have the money.
Okay.
Yes, please.
I would just offer up for $10,000 for folks who've waited a long time for a functional park. Let's not make them wait for, no offense, but for a master plan and, it would take quite a while.
How long ago was you over there at the park?
Say again,
I said, when was you over there?
I go there every week.
You went over there, okay.
So I'm still not clear what you want. The first item is obviously what you want us to look at, vote on tonight. Is there a motion anybody wants to, or do we want to look?
To allow them to do plantings?
Well, the
that
first
the-
one, step one was to allow him to do plantings. And that was no cost to the town, correct? All right, so we want to does anybody have any issue with that?
So
Do-
1,400 for the plantings?
No, they're
Step one.
step one,
Page 24.
24.
Boy, that's the $1,500 of OBCA.
It's not any money from the town.
So I make a motion to allow OBCA to add plantings to the town park.
A discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all right. Okay, so, get back on here.
And so what was the discussion about the signage? Cindy, which part were you thinking that should wait out of the next proposal?
Well,
Until we've done the wayfinding on Market Street to see if there's any overlap there.
Do that?
Okay.
Do I ask him?
The one thing I didn't say in the presentation, the neighborhood that's a big of that.
Can you right click?
Liz Springer.
Thank you.
Excuse me, Earl Sullivan.
I really.
Ideally would be to have the new equipment, new amenities in there and the sign up. I think that would be, Mr. Outlaw Park, a nice presence. So if you did something like that, you're looking at somewhere around, $14,000 to $15,000.
all right, so the action, if you're looking on page 25, we need to know where the money's coming from here. Yeah,
Where's the money coming from?
we'd have to pull it out of,
It's not in this year's budget.
right? So,
I think we can act on step two. Personally, not right now.
well, yeah, it's on the table. We can, yeah, we don't normally, this is the first we've seen the presentation. So, council's thoughts?
You don't have any suggestions on moving any monies around?
Not this year, no, not
No.
if you're gonna take it out of reserves and change the budget, which, you're about to make a motion for that anyway.
Well, you're talking, so approval for benches, the earliest January, February. So we want to get, you want to get it in before the spring, right? So we have the November, meeting, and have another couple meetings. All right. Sure, yeah.
Matt, we don't have a copy of the capital improvement plan in here unless I missed it, but
It's on the
Was-
CapEx form. It's on the CapEx report. That's on page.
which
Yeah,
page?
it wasn't here.
I'm sorry, I missed it.
It's 48.
Weren't the wayfind or the specific signs, what do we call them? I can't remember the exact
The
title.
destination signs.
Destination, that's it.
Those are not in
Not
this
in
year.
here.
We
Okay.
we pulled them, didn't we?
So,
We
but
did.
there is a line item for benches, trash cans. Is that not for?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's for, is for the town square benches, garbage cans for in front of the welcome center and the town hall, stuff like that.
Would that potentially be?
Yeah, you can do what you want with it.
Is that something we might be interested in foregoing this year?
Oh, would that cover step two?
Well, we have a meeting in 2 weeks,
Okay, you want-
2 weeks. It's up to you all, but yeah, it's up to, I mean, I think that we can find the money. But we normally, when we get an idea, we kind of like to sit on it for, think about it for a meeting. But that's up to you all. How much money was the bench thing?
24 for everything that he proposed.
No, but how much was the money that if we,
About $9,000 and then.
no, how much money do we have for the town square to, if we
For 25,000.
25,000 in for the budget for benches, flowers, pots, garbage cans throughout town.
okay, and that's still, that's in this year's budget.
CIP.
And
Okay. And
is
that's,
any of,
and that's supposed to be spent by July of next year,
June.
June 30. Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's a source. Okay. Just checking.
is any of that envisioned currently to be for the Northeast Park, the Samuel
That was
Outlaw
up to
Park?
the Council, we just set aside the money because we wanted to have the accessories around town. With the
Consistent.
garbage cans, with the recycling and the benches that were thoughtfully placed and designed. So
Okay,
yeah, this is.
so is
all
it,
right in there.
okay, so it would, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but is it fair to say that if we were to use some of that for what this is proposed as, it might be reallocating from what some of the other things were envisioned for that money, as well as being exactly what some of that money was envisioned to be?
That's correct. It would just be reappropriating some of the money into a, I think, better place. So, I would be really supportive of that investment in the park.
You, can I ask Jeff a question? You said a new sign for the park would be 14 to 15,000? Is that what you said? 2,000, okay, that's what, okay, I was like, okay, let me.
That could be a typo.
All right. Council's preference here.
I'd like to think about it personally. I mean, we've been talking about the designs for the other places for a long time, and this one's hit us tonight, so I'd just like to think. Discuss it at our next meeting. Got time.
Well, anybody, any other council's preference?
I agree with Cindy.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm in favor of it, but I
Mhm.
think let's let it percolate a little bit and refine, not to death, but a little bit. And hope to come up with the best solution.
And maybe we could come up with a mix something somewhere too, and not, so we can still work on some of the stuff we had already planned for. So let's
All right.
look at it further.
So, if we agree, we're going to put this as an action item on the November budget,
Absolutely.
which is only 3 weeks away. Okay,
Yes, that's
Right. Right.
Quick turnaround.
Yeah. It's a quick turnaround. Okay. All right.
Jeff.
Stay on this.
Oh, yeah, we will.
I
Yeah.
think Jeff also had asked us to form the committee, right, for future outlook. Is that what you were wanting as well? Okay.
So if there's interest, please get up with, send your resume, can you give names to me and I can, and I'll give it to me. Matt's not going to be here at the next, so.
Need your guys' expertise though. 'Cause
Well,
a lot more about-
well, one person, you want somebody from the council, correct? Yeah. Okay. Well, if anybody wants to volunteer from the council, well, let me know. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you. I mean, I think we're going to find the money. I think it's just a matter of, I mean, that's my opinion. I don't,
I feel the same way.
I can't tell the council what to do, but it looks like we're on the right track there. Okay. All right. All right.
Thank you for the presentation.
Thank you. Yeah, really well done. All right. Okay, council discussion, funding the capital improvements of the school. Is it Sarah?
We had the public hearing on this at the last meeting. We've talked about it for a very long time. With that, and I'm using the proposed motion that's in the,
Well, the actions in the next item.
We're on
Well, but-
discussion.
We're
Okay.
just going to discuss it, then you
Okay.
make a motion.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can say what you want to, what the motion's going to be if you want to.
so what I will move when we get to council action is that the Anacog Town Council amend the fiscal year 2026 approved budget to authorize an appropriation of up to $800,000 to be used solely to repair the roof and HVAC system at the historic Anacog School, to be accompanied by revision of the lease to change the rent the school pays simultaneously with HRSD-related lease amendments.
Page is that, Sarah?
It's 27 with some written in parts that I will
Yeah,
give.
because that is not what's in our packet.
Couple things in here.
Yeah,
So the addition is that it would be accompanied by a lease amendment for increased rent, which goes along with the fact that we already have to change the lease because of HRSD. And as noted, in accordance with section 15.2-2507 of the Code of Virginia, this budget adjustment exceeds 1% of total budgeted expenditures, and a public hearing was duly advertised and held on September 22nd, 2025. If we adopt this motion, it would constitute the town council's formal approval of the budget amendment.
Okay, discussion on this? Go around, Lisa.
I just feel like if we don't do this now, it's going to be an even larger expense later. It is our property. We are required to maintain our property, just like we want people to maintain their properties in town. And I'm for this to make sure that our building doesn't fall into disrepair.
Joey?
Well, I have a little bit more to say.
That's fine.
Can everybody hear me? Okay. Good. I want to make it clear, first of all, I support maintaining the town-owned property of Anacog High School, but the expertise to fund the repairs is not here. Council, without dissent, directed the town manager to obtain an engineering mechanical study of the high school. It was not obtained. Instead, what we do have is a bid from a roofing contractor, a bid from an HVAC contractor, and a real estate developer. It is important to note this process does not follow the guidelines of our procurement policy. Let's put it this way. You're a landlord. Your renter comes to you and hands you 2 estimates for repairs. You would not tell the renter to hire his contractors and then write the renter a check? I think not. I would not. And I think you would not either. It is not good business practice and does not follow, and this is very important, it does not follow the council-adopted procurement policy, which states we must receive 3 bids and council must approve the bids. Splits are intensive maintenance. Each unit every year must be serviced. The taxpayers will bear the expenses of yearly maintenance for each split unit. This is not a sound financial decision, but an emotional decision. We must fulfill our fiduciary responsibility and practice due diligence. I have some questions. It is difficult to proceed without a budget from the school. I was told it was on their website, but I have not been able to access it. How can we proceed without a clue as to financial viability? I was given this tonight by Cindy. I did not receive this in my email. Was it sent to my personal email? Town? Well, looking at this budget, and this is the first time I've had my eyes on it ever. Your net income for the 2025 budget was 28,300. 929.25, 9,000. Projected end of year, 19,000. Again, the question is financial viability. The idle funds, and those idle funds have come from HRSD surplus, were in the budget last year, but still taxes were increased in all areas except real property. My question is why? The public hearing for HOS, at that hearing, 8 residents of this town spoke. 25% were in favor of giving the school the $800,000. 75% who spoke were opposed. The people of Anacog have spoken. Where is the community support for this $800,000? Or is that support coming from this council? Our attorney, Eric Gregory, stated there is no fiduciary relationship between the town and the school. No partnership created, no joint venture. The lease is specific about FOS role and responsibility. How can we proceed without a lease? without a president of the board of FOS, as the last two presidents have resigned. My suggestion is, as our current town manager will be resigning, we will be in the process of hiring a new town manager. I propose we postpone this motion until we complete the hiring process and have fresh eyes on the proposal. That new town manager may also bring fresh ideas as to funding streams. Much to our surprise, let's hope they do. Thank you. Please, I have a copy of this to be entered into the record, Debbie.
I think we've all listened to a lot of discussions over
Yes,
the
Debbie.
last, I don't know, year, 2 years. I lose track of
March of
time.
2020.
Oh, even
March
longer.
of 2020.
We've heard all the difficulties of trying to get engineering studies, of trying to afford engineering studies, of trying to get estimates, of people backing out because, quite frankly, we were pretty indecisive about the whole process. And so I think it comes down to a decision of, do we want the school to continue functioning or not? And the expedient thing to do is to make the repairs as best we can and move on and continue the good things that the school is providing to the community. I personally support the school and have always. I've not made any, bones about my particular stance on this. I think as a small town, we've done the best we could. We're not perfect by any means, but we've kind of struggled through this process, listened to many different voices. You have to understand that only a few people come to our council meetings. They tend to be pretty much the same people meeting after meeting, saying pretty much the same things over and over, frequently on the same topics. There are also the 1,200 people out there that don't come to the meetings ever. And we have to try to anticipate what their opinions might be. We know the usage of the school and as I said, the good programs that they support and do for the community. And so for those reasons, I support doing the repairs.
I think I just want to correct a couple things. One, the school has a president, Rick King is here, the new president of the.
Oh, he's our new president?
Yeah.
And
And,
it's not on the website yet.
Yeah, right. Secondly, we can't violate the procurement policy of the town. We're not giving the money to the school. We're going to do these repairs ourselves. We will have to go through the procurement process. We will have to advertise, get 3 bids, right back, like any project would be done for the town. So we're not handing them the money and let them do with the 2 bids they have. Those 2 bids might be the ones that get it, but we're going to go back through the procurement process. And my recommendation would be to hire some kind of person, a project manager to look it over, or some, licensed engineer to look at it, make sure that, things are going right. But we're not going to violate the town procurement policy. That would be against our policy. So that's just the 2 things I have, if you proceed with this. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
I don't think it's a surprise to know that I'm in favor of this. The school building has been worked on ever since the lease was granted. There has been a lot of improvement done. These things are beyond the capacity of the Friends of Anacog School to fund, and they are necessary to keep the building viable. I don't want us to neglect our building into unusability. And I think this is the way forward that, as Cindy said, we have been struggling towards for years. I think it's time and I think it's necessary. Thank you.
Ashley, are you up there?
He's back on mute.
Can you hear us, Ashley? Or
He's trying.
can you unmute him?
Good calling.
So is it that Ashley needs to unmute himself or that you need to unmute him from here?
Well, I can't, can you, he must have heard me. If he's not, must not be hearing us. Yeah, well, Omar, why don't you go ahead while we're trying to get him? Can you guys text him, please, and see what you can find, or call him?
Good evening, everybody. This merry-go-round has been going around for several years before I even got here. Since I've been here, you know, we've been talking about the school and this money for the school, for the repairs, you know, like I said repeatedly, blah, 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 blah. I walk through the streets of Anacog every day, pretty much stopping at every house. And I talk to, I can't say everyone, but I talk to quite a few people. Almost seems like every day, something about the school. I get a lot of mixed emotions from the town people. A majority of the people that I talk to are against the monies for the school. The ones that are for the school speak about it very passionate. I myself, I am for keeping the school, as they would say, for another part of saying, alive, doing the repairs and, you know, keeping the school going, because me and my sons, we frequent the school every now and then. Like I said, I walk past there every day. Some days it's empty, some days it's full. Some nights we might ride by there, same thing. Some days it's full, sometimes it's empty. I think that, you know, like I said, I'm not against doing the repairs for the school, but I just kind of wanted to make sure that all the monies wasn't just, you know, it seemed like everything was about the school, about the school, about the school. Other parts of the town were kind of getting left out, as I feel. Thank you for your presentation and all of the stuff that you're, you know, proposing. Not saying that, you know, this is going to make or break my decision or whatever the case is, but I do think that as far as that amount of money, I would like to also see the new lease with the new amendments, where when people, town people found out and heard that, oh, the school only pays $1, and, you know, sometimes I think there's a lot of miscommunication with some people. When the communication or the info was put out there, seems like they only get like a piece of it. People only going to hear what they want to hear. Oh, they only pay $1, and the rent is only but this much for the people that's there. Well, how can they get so much money? Why give them so much money? Blah, 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 blah. You know, it gets, I think some communication, some better communication needs to be done to help some of the people in the town to understand, you know, not just the importance or, like you say, the what you say, the emotional feel for it, you know. With that being said, and listening to all the people in the streets and the people that come here and support, and my council members, like I said, me just kind of still trying to suck all that stuff in, you know, I don't want to see the school, the building become, as you say, vacant or, you know, just an empty building. But I still think that, you know, we should still do the repairs, but why do we have to do all the repairs? Boom, 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 you know, all right together at the same time. I don't know. I just don't know. I'm not saying we should wait, because I'm tired of waiting. I just want to close this book and let's move on. But, you know, like I said, I'm not against the school. I would just like to see the new lease.
Yeah.
We need, like I said, but I do want the school to be repaired, but I just didn't want it to make it seem as though all the reserve money or whatever is going to the school and other places in the town, you know, slack off or, get looked over, I just want to make sure that this is fair to the entire town, because when the majority of the people who I talk to, some of the first things they say is, I don't even go to the school. I don't even use the school. I don't care about the school. I mean, that's not that they don't care, but it's like, it doesn't do anything for me. You get those people, and then that's the majority of the people. But that's what the town is saying, But me personally, like I said, I think we should fix the school. But just as long as the rest of the town is treated fairly, where it can help the masses, in a sense. That's it. That's all I got to say. That's it. That's all I got to say about it.
Omar, I think you had two very important points. One is, why do we have to take on the entire $800,000? Let's do a project. I think it was asked at the last meeting, which is the most important project, and I think it was said the roof. So let's do the roof and see how it goes, and we'll take it from there. Because unfortunately, the town has a real reputation and past record of budgeting 50,000 and coming in at 1.5 or more. So let's take this one step at a time. And then I also totally agree with you. Let's see the lease. The lease is sort of being written as we go. Let's see the lease, and then we'll know what to do. That's all I have to say.
May I?
Yeah, sir.
We do have engineering studies. They're not in the last couple of years, but there have been serious studies done of the building, and there's been a lot of work done since those were done. The roof is crucial. With this last massive rain, there were some issues. We're addressing those with additional gutters and some other work, but the bigger work of the roof is necessary to protect the building as a whole and avoid further damage of contents and damage of the rest of the structure. The HVAC is necessary because when the boiler rusts through the bottom, the building will not be usable in the winter. The boiler was put in when the building was built, and nobody knows, there's no way to know how much of that bottom wall remains. We made it through last winter. We don't know, but we can't keep putting it off. And as far as people who use or don't use the school, I don't have a dog and I don't use the dog park. But the dog park is a good thing to me because people who have dogs and take them to the dog park enjoy it, and that makes the life of the town stronger. Having the playground, having the disc golf, having the performance venue, having the meeting sites and the artisan studios enhances the town as a whole. Having a dead building that nobody can use, that's falling apart, will be a drag on the town as a whole. So for those reasons, I feel we need to move forward, and we need to do it now before the boiler goes and before the roof goes.
Okay, any other discussion? This is going to come back up at action. So all right. Oh, Cash Lazy. Oh. Oh.
That's what I was gonna do.
He's not answering? Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. Next, we're coming back to this in council action, but next item is the council discussion of Queen Street design. I think we're just, we've got some.
I gave everybody a large copy of the most recent plan that was presented to the adjacent landowners.
Can we put it up on the screen?
I don't know.
No.
Do you have a copy to put up on the screen? I don't have a copy.
It doesn't transfer too well to the screen.
Yeah, it doesn't. The latest plan retains the two-way access from Market Street. The parking is a bit tight in there, so I think we might need to adjust some of that. There are some minor tweaks that need to be done. And I gave everyone in their email copies of the comments that the adjacent landowners had made. Their discussions, I think Scott Chandler specifically asked for some bollards up next to his building so that hopefully nobody had run into the wall of his building. And then some questions that I had emailed to Psalm Engineering about the base layers to the parking lot and their responses to that. So, I mean, I think we're pretty close to it. I don't know how Matt feels about it, but I think with some minor adjustments, we're probably getting pretty close to being ready to. No. What? Oh, yeah. There is a grant that Matt applied for $550,000. And the last time he mentioned it, he said he thought we'd know in a couple of months whether we got that. It's very competitive. He's doubtful that we will get it. But since it's just a couple of months away, it seems to make sense to wait and see if we get that, because then we could do a much more expansive job than we're able to do with our existing funding. So with that in mind, we're going to wait to hear from that grant and then proceed based on whether we get it or not.
So if you have any comments, just get up, talk to Cindy. If you have any specific comments about the plans, there's probably nobody, I don't think we need to go into this detail right now, but sure. Yeah.
About the lease. What the lease? What are we gonna do about that? Go ahead. No, thanks. Discuss it privately. The farmer's market lease, should we rescind that?
Rescind the lease probably.
Oh, yeah, we need, we need to.
Well,
Yeah.
my question is.
I'll ask that attorney what we should do about that. Yeah.
Okay.
How to word that. You're right. They need to.
Yeah, because we have a lease currently in here, the farmer's market.
Right.
And since those plans have changed, I think it needs to reflect in the record that
Right.
it will no longer be.
No, you're absolutely right. I'll
Yeah.
I'll talk to the farmers market committee and talk to the attorney about how they want to do that. Yeah. Okay. All right. So the Queen Street is still in the progress. So if anybody wants to look at the plans, they're here in the town hall. You're welcome to look at them.
How's the stakeholders, Cindy? I haven't seen the email yet. Positive comments?
Yeah, we had a meeting.
No concerns?
They gave us their thoughts. Yeah.
There were a few concerns.
Yeah.
The Devaney's remain concerned about the drainage. There are some rain gardens in the plans that are supposed to ameliorate the drainage, and also when the Lilliston property drainage is connected to the town drainage, that should help, we think, with.
I thought that was already done.
I don't believe it has been done yet. Oh, really? I don't know. She didn't mention when it would occur.
What now?
I thought Ann Kyle was saying something to me about connecting to the drainage.
Well, they're eventually, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, but I thought it sounded like it was gonna be sooner rather than later, but maybe I misunderstood.
She didn't give us an estimated date at the meeting.
Okay.
All I can think of, that some of this stuff is just kind of concerns about the plan and whether it's the best we can do, but given the amount of money we have to spend, it may very well be the best we can do.
What will the surface be?
Pavement?
Asphalt.
Asphalt.
Do have a question about the section between the theater and the Roseland and the Print Cottage.
Mhm.
I'm not clear on what the notation of the TYP.
There's a right of way through there. There's a right of way from the.
It looks like a parking space size.
Can we get up? Can we talk about that in another
Okay.
section? Yeah. Because
I
the
I
public
guess-
doesn't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
My bigger question is, how firm is the two-way decision about the east end of Queen Street.
I think it's firm. We may have to lose, see the 19 feet between parking spaces? That's
Yes.
tight.
Okay,
That's probably not good.
okay,
So we might have to, in my mind, eliminate some of those spots that are parallel to the goat house.
okay.
Matt's nodding, he's agreeing.
I think the stakeholders were almost 100% in favor of two-way traffic, correct? Am
Yeah.
I correct?
Yes.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't want it
We
to be.
still need 8 feet
Right.
for two-way traffic, and right now there's only a little less than 20. And so
Okay.
we're gonna need to remove the 10-foot spots that are on the east side of the drive.
Thank you.
All right, like I said, this is still about playing, in action. If you have any specific questions, talk to Cindy or, Matt won't be around, but we can talk to somebody
Well,
about it.
thank you for all your work.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
it's still ongoing.
I'm just doing comments.
All right, the next item for council discussion is changing the time of the town council meeting. Are we gonna we can act on this? I mean, it's,
Yeah, I say aye.
yes. So do we have a,
Have a motion.
yeah, can we have a motion to, about this?
I move that we meet at 6 o'clock instead of 7 o'clock.
I second.
When is that implemented?
Next month.
Do we have a time to?
Till January, I don't know.
Oh, it looks like he's off.
Oh, we've got Ashley.
Ashley, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay,
Um,
so we have a motion on the floor.
so, to amend the time to, what time is that? Can you tell when it's going to take effect? Add that to the motion. Who made the motion?
Cindy.
Me.
Okay.
Don't wait, just do it.
Okay.
Well, my only
Cindy.
hesitation is we have noticed the whole year out front
Yes.
at 7. So
Yeah.
while I would love for it to be November, maybe it needs to be January.
So when
Maybe clear if we made it January.
yeah, I think that we wouldn't have to put out a press, we wouldn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Would save some money. All right. So, so it's your motion is to starting January 1.
January.
All right. And we'll adopt our calendar in December anyway, correct? Right. So we can, yeah. All right. So we have a motion to, change the time to 6 o'clock. We have a second, all in favor?
No, Joy did. Aye.
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 Okay, we have 5 to 1, right?
Aye.
Yeah.
Ashley.
Okay, all right. All right, thank you. All right, council action. Okay, we're back on the motion to amend the fiscal 2026 approved budget to allow for an expenditure for the school. Sarah, you want to make your motion now?
I move that the Anacog Town Council amend the fiscal year 2026 approved budget to authorize an appropriation of up to $800,000 to be used solely to repair the roof and HVAC system at the historic Anacog School, to be accompanied by revision of the lease to change the rent the school pays, simultaneous with HRSD-related lease amendments. Do I need to read the part about the code?
No, but you need to read that second part that we don't have again, please, a little slower.
To be accompanied by revision of the lease to change the rent the school pays,
Okay. That it?
simultaneous with HRSD-related lease amendments.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, if we redo the lease, we will have to have public hearing, correct, on the lease?
Yes.
Yes, that'll come out. Any rental, we'll have a public hearing about the details of the lease. I have a second on the motion. Further discussion, or talk this to death?
So that includes the addition that was just made tonight, the motion.
Yes, yes.
Ashley, did you have anything you wanted to say when we were talking earlier? No.
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right, motion on the floor,
Discussion.
discussion?
Sarah, we don't know what the lease says. How can we say that we're going to accompany the lease with
With
this?
revisions to the lease.
It's up to us to revise the lease.
We're gonna do that.
Yeah.
this is the caveat to the money.
So the first part of the motion is invalid until we have the lease.
That's probably correct. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, until we have a lease.
Right.
Well, it's
how
fine. We
could
gotta go through
we-
the procurement process anyway.
Yeah. It's going to take
It's gonna
months.
take a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think we should wait till we have a lease. How can we approve this without the lease?
In previous discussions, I believe they'd presented a lease amount of $1,200 a month as their
That's all they're
recommendation.
saying. You know, until we have a written lease approved by council, by this body, how can we possibly say, this is what we're going to do?
Well, we could take that piece out and just go ahead and fund the
Okay,
repairs if that's what you'd like, Joy.
I think we just need to wait and do it all once, but
I-
it's probably not. gonna
we've,
happen.
we've waited and waited and waited.
We have a motion from the floor. Oh, so are you one?
But she has a motion that includes all this extraneous stuff that's there.
Well, okay, I'll revise the motion to be what was printed, which is that the Anacog Town Council amend the budget to authorize an appropriation of up to 800,000 to be used solely to repair the roof and HVA system at the historic Anacog School.
Second.
All right. Discussion on that. Okay. All right. I think can I call a roll call vote, please?
Councilmember Figgy,
Aye.
Councilmember Grubb,
It's complicated for the.
Councilmember Holdren,
Aye.
Councilmember Marino,
No, I do not see the community support for it.
Councilmember Knock,
Aye.
Councilmember Pettit.
Aye.
Okay. All right. Carries 5-1. Thank you. All right. We need to, I'll get up with, Matt. You're leaving, so, it's gonna be up to the new town manager to do this, or interim town manager. All right. Okay. Committee reports, Planning Commission, Cindy Holdren.
Let me see if I remember to bring those notes. Okay. Okay, we did meet earlier this month at on October 6th and heard presentations from the Tree Board, Waterfront Committee, and the No Spray Group for Mosquitoes. All of those presentations were very informative and helpful in our talking about the comprehensive plan that we're working on. We had public comment regarding the rezoning application for the Eller property, and we let's see. We decided to deny that application for rezoning. It was a very detailed motion that Jim McGowan had crafted, gave all of the reasons that we had decided to do that. But basically, it was because the existing zoning for R2 would have allowed many more units than in the proposal. And we were concerned about the size of the proposal, so agreeing to many more units than that didn't make a whole lot of sense. We need to develop new zoning ordinances and recommend them to the town council for adoption that would enable us to limit what is done in that area and basically get it to conform to more of the vision we have for the town. Let's see. Then we talked again about data collection and assessment for the comprehensive plan and worked on that. Most importantly, I need to remind you that there will be a public meeting to talk about what the town members' vision for the future is that we can use in writing the comprehensive plan. That'll take place on November 3rd at, let's see, 6 to 8 p.m. And it'll occur in the Old Food City Shopping Center.
Nobody's gonna know where that.
Meatland.
Meatland. No. You're too far.
You mean where the hospice store?
Yes, the hospice.
Yes, where the hospice is. I can't think of the name of the space.
What's the name of
Peninsula Center,
Peninsula Center.
You.
Dialysis.
65.
Yeah, Marcus.
Thank you.
It's on the scroll on the website.
Yeah, it's on the website. I think a manager's minute went out about it. So if anybody has any questions, please call the town council or the town office and they'll tell you the exact location. I think that's about it.
Public hearing for this, zoning. Public hearing is next month for this zoning thing.
Okay. Fletcher wanted me to add that the public hearing for that rezoning of the Eller property is going to be next month for the town council.
It's not.
Oh, I thought
He's
it was,
withdrawn his application.
oh, that's news. Okay.
No, it's
But
not.
there was
They
more
emailed
to
you.
that.
I
There-
never saw it.
There was
Fletcher
more
confused
to that.
me.
Huh?
Remember, I told you he's withdrawn his application. He's gonna draw and submit an
Oh,
by right plan.
Yes.
yeah, but I didn't think he'd withdrawn
What
the
does
original.
that, what, the-
You're right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm saying,
Excuse me.
I didn't read the second part. Yeah.
what does a by right plan mean?
Means it follows the zoning as it's written today,
And the zoning as it's written today is,
B2.
Me too. Yeah. Yeah.
so he would put in businesses. Is,
Residence is upstairs, I would imagine.
Yeah.
is there anything else you can tell us about? it? Or is that pretty much
I
it?
haven't seen any plans yet.
Yeah. I'll have to wait to see what his plan is. Yeah. Yeah. Read the B2 zoning and there's a lot of, yeah,
A lot in there.
a lot in there. Yeah.
That's B2 zoning for the town or B2 zoning
Town,
for
town.
the,
This is town property.
Right.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. All right. Okay. Planning Commission, EDA, Lisa.
We didn't meet, we don't meet again until December 2nd.
Sorry, Ben. Okay. Nancock Main Street.
Onancock Main Street received a $5,000 micro business marketing and leveraging program grant from the Virginia Tourism Corporation. This program helps small tourism related communities like ours to boost marketing efforts during the shoulder season, which is September to May. The funding will support a new billboard, social media marketing, digital banners, radio, and newspaper ads, all promoting Onancock as a year-round destination. I attended with our program manager, the fundraising AI workshop that was held at ESCC. It was put on by ESVA Tourism, the Community Foundation, and United Way of the Eastern Shore. A gentleman named Patrick Kirby, who is the founder of Do Good Better Consulting, was the speaker. It was an interactive workshop that showed how nonprofits can use AI in their grant writing and fundraising efforts. And a big thank you to everyone who worked on getting the Halloween festivities together this past weekend. It was a great collaboration and it was quite the thrilling weekend in Onancock. Onancock Main Street helped with the spooky effects by collecting spooky, it wasn't spooky, it was it spooky specials, I think is what we landed on, so that we could highlight not only alcoholic specials, but like corner bakery specials and the coffee shop specials that were centered around Halloween. And then we also did some promotions on our social media website on behalf of the whole weekend's events. Onancock Main Street also recently finished the last installment of a mural / mosaic, which is downtown. It's called Creek View. Is that correct? It is on 38 Market Street on the bathroom side of the building. So it's on the walkway between Corner Bakery and the new Welcome Center. It's absolutely gorgeous. If you haven't seen it, please check it out. It is a 250-pound glass mosaic, which was created by New Ravenna and captures the spirit of the Onancock Creek. And then I also wanted to give a reminder to our town businesses that are in the downtown district. Onancock Main Street has a grant that we're turning around and granting out public-facing improvement money to our downtown businesses. The grants are anywhere from $500 to $5,000, but the deadline for those grants is actually Monday, the 3rd. So I just wanted to give a little shout out there.
Any questions for Lisa? All right, Sarah, Onancock School.
Recent activities, before I start into the recent activities, thank you to the council for agreeing to move forward with the work that will keep the school viable. On behalf of the school, appreciate that very much. So pausing after that. Now, what's been going on? The Eastern Shore Car Cruisers Car Show was well attended in the last couple of weeks. I've forgotten the timing. That went well. The Art League had a free pumpkin painting event for children 12 and under. Food Lion provided the pumpkins. I saw some of the results. They're flanking the stairs up to the main level of the school, and they're adorable. This coming Saturday, there will be a craft show at the school from 10 to 3. And there will also be a local food truck, and Guy Shover will be doing a demo outside, adding color to his bronze sculptures, which sounds like a really interesting thing to see. And the middle Saturday of November, the 15th, the champagne and oyster tasting event will be going on from 4 to 7. And other things are rocking along as usual, but the ability to proceed with the work for the roof and the HVAC is a great boost, and I hope will carry us forward. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Sale 250, who's doing that?
Well, we had a great last meeting. I thought it was excellent. We've been meeting with more and more community partners, fleshing out activities for the weekend of Sale 250. We've actually just hired Amy Higgins, who's going to do our marketing, help us with our marketing plan for the event for that weekend. We're in the process of writing a grant to VTC for marketing dollars as well. And that will promote not just that weekend, but all events that are going on in historic Onancock. We've been really busy. What else have we been doing, Debbie?
Amy met with or had a call with the website designer, and they're building out the landing page. That should be done this week. I did go over and met the Pyro shows as the firework vendor and saw a show at ODU. And he's coming back in November to finalize the actual site. I think we've decided to not do it on the creek.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
I could probably, I learned a lot about fireworks. Yeah. So all the marketing is moving forward. I'm ordered the pole banners, and we're really making some real big efforts here in the last couple weeks. So I'm excited.
Restate the date.
The date is June the 12th through the 14th, 2026.
We have a tall ship coming in.
We have a tall ship coming in. We have a band scheduled at the pavilion on Friday night, and then the fireworks will be the big finale Saturday night.
Okay.
After activities throughout town, both days and Sunday as well.
Okay. All right, but we'll be hearing a lot more about this coming up. So if you have any questions specifically, talk to Lisa or Debbie. They're the co-chairs of this. Thanks, guys, for your help on this. Yeah. All right. Public comment. Rosemary first.
I'm one of those people who comes to every meeting and who says the same thing over and over again, so I apologize for that. But first, I want to thank OBCA because I think that the work they did in the Northeast neighborhood is just absolutely fantastic, and I was thrilled to go there today and finally see the nets are up. So well done, well planned. With respect to the school, not saying where the town was, not saying that I was any official or employee in the town. I called up 2 different mechanical engineers that I've worked with over many years, decades, and I explained to them what the situation was. I said, we have a building, it's 120 years old, it's brick and mortar, it's 28,000 square feet on 2 levels. One of the levels is a basement. What is the most efficacious way to get heat to that school, to replace it now? And this is something actually I've done in my career many times, dozens and dozens of times in larger buildings that size and larger buildings. And they said, listen, you can put in a split system, but that's really not the way to go if you want to do it quickly. If you want to do it quickly, you want to do it efficiently, you want to do it economically, just replace the boiler. You can abandon the existing boiler in place. Anybody that's been down in that boiler room knows it's huge And boilers now are much smaller than they used to be. If you're putting in split systems, you're going to have to start by putting in pads, and you have to engineer the job out to make sure that they're the right size. I know that last September, we had an event in the auditorium, I guess you'd call it. And there were many women there, and we were dying from the heat. And it was because the air conditioning system was not properly sized to that room. And if you're trying to do this just based on proposals from contractors, it's the wrong way to go. If you're looking at all of this money, spend money on mechanical engineers. Now, the mechanical engineers I spoke to were in New York City, but a building's a building, so they get the concept of the whole thing. You can use all the existing lines. If you want to look into it, I had given the council the names of mechanical engineers that will work in the area. So the statement that nobody will come to the Eastern Shore is absolutely patently untrue. So do it the right way. And as I said, if you're looking to do it efficaciously and getting it done quickly and economically, just replace the boiler. And again, but have it sized by the proper mechanical engineer. Thank you.
Thank you. Robert Monson.
How's it going? I missed y'all at the meeting about the Queen Street. And I noticed nothing's really being done for the stormwater on like Roseland and my side. I noticed in the statement that y'all put in the notes that he said he's getting water in the back of his building. And I took this picture of, it was the storm right before that meeting. And that was just when it was starting. And currently I've communicated with my neighbor, and we've kind of worked a drainage so it doesn't just flood my entire driveway. But that's at the expense of putting the water more onto his property and maybe causing issues there.
Where are you located, Rob?
58 Market. So my driveway is right behind the print shop or whatever.
You're the Victorian?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're asking us to?
Just possibly address the drainage issue in a fuller manner. Because I mean,
we've discussed you got up with Cindy or well, Matt's leaving, but get up with Cindy or me at the meeting. I think we discussed doing something there about raising doing something about the pavement level and stuff like that. It was not, we didn't ignore your problem.
Yeah,
It's a hard problem to solve. Yeah, we talked about it, and I don't know what the engineers came up with, but we're not going to ignore that. So we'll get back to it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mark Sinclair.
Good evening, Mark Sinclair, Brainwave Circle, just outside of town. First, I want to thank you all for voting on the school. You are securing your children and grandchildren's future, place of enjoyment, place of art education, place of music, place of play. Thank you all for your vote. Greatly appreciate it. Second, I want to talk about the OBCA and their proposal. I too went up to the Northeast neighborhood this morning and drove through the whole neighborhood and looked everything over. And I can't tell you how much I support every one of their plans. Every idea they have is a valid idea and I think should be supported. I would take it one step further in that my concern is I see a lot of blight in the housing. As you go deeper into the neighborhood and around the neighborhood, you see a lot of houses that have really past their prime and they're really just starting to frown. As a person who's renovated 14 houses here on the Eastern Shore, I can tell you nothing improves a neighborhood more than cleaning up and fixing up houses. I would love to see this town be able to come up with a group of people that are dedicated to going in and helping low-income, fixed-income people that can't afford to fix their houses, to clean up the yards, put a coat of paint on them, hang some shutters, whatever. It will make the houses and the neighborhood smile. As I say, I've renovated 14 houses, so if you ever get a committee together to work on that, I'd be glad to volunteer my time to help out. But I think everything they recommended is worthwhile. I would like to add that I'd like to see the Outlaw Museum open a little bit more. The last time it was open was the day I couldn't get there when they had the box launch. I would have loved to have gotten in there and seen the whole place. I missed it, and there went my opportunity. I'd love to be able to get there and to see it. My last comments I reserve for Mr. Spuck. All the years that you've been here, I greatly appreciate every meeting we've ever had. I've appreciated your forthrightness, your candor, and your willingness to meet with me on every occasion. Thank you so much. You'll be missed. Thank you all.
Joe Devaney.
Thank you, Mayor. Joe Devaney, 6 Queen. I participated in Mayor and Councilmember Holdren's meeting earlier this month on the Queen Street parking lot. My comments are going to be related to the Queen Street parking lot and plans going forward. I do want to thank Councilmember Holdren for giving us blueprints and taking her time and explaining the plans and what the expectations were. I'd like to say that I'm supportive of the plan, but I am absolutely not supportive, and I apologize for that. I think this is a place where we can come in and agree, but there's some basic facts that we're going to persist on enthusiastically. They would be as follows. The standard for remediation at sites that are discharging into the Chesapeake Bay is an improvement of 20 to 40% of the volume of the water that's being discharged into the bay. You're at 15 now. Okay, that is what I understand from the meeting. So you're going to have to find at least 5%. But my expectations would be at the other end of that spectrum, that we would be up near 40%, because I do hear a lot of people in this town talk about environmental protection. I mean, we even had a mosaic that was brought up earlier today about the spirit of the creek that you can't swim in or fish in because we're discharging into that creek. That's unacceptable. If you were in another jurisdiction, this town would be fined for its stormwater discharges. It's just unacceptable. All right, number 2, the eastern property line, as my neighbor, Mr. Munson, talked about, is absolutely unacceptable. I have runoff coming into the driveway, running down Chesapeake Bay Protection Act property that's getting completely eroded and challenging trees, 3 walnut trees that are enormous. Those trees contribute to the canopy around that swamp area that runs back to the school that we pay taxes on and that we maintain. And at some point, that water becomes your water. And when that water leaves your property, you still carry some liability for that water. So I want you to think about how that might look. You ask about maintenance budgets in the parks and the other common areas of the town. This is an area where you are carrying costs that you haven't recognized yet. Last thing is hydrology and math. While the meeting was really quite good, I thought, and brought out a lot of facts. I'm sorry, Mayor, if I can have just another 10 seconds. We think the hydrology and the math behind that engineering study needs to be seen by professionals and by the public. So we're going to ask for that, and we're ready to submit a FOIA request on that as well. I apologize for going over. Thank you.
Thank you. Pam Fitzpatrick.
I'm Pam Fitzpatrick. I live at 60 Hill Street. I am hopeful that I will not become one of those people who comes to every single meeting every time to talk about the same thing. But tonight I want to talk about the boundary line adjustment, which I know is not on your agenda, but it's still kind of on ours because nothing has been officially communicated to us since the last meeting when the vote was delayed. I'm not going to spend a lot of time topping, but what I do want to do is submit about 25 pages of documentation. Just kind of summarizes what we, as a group of affected homeowners, know about what's gone on thus far, the kind of materials that we have at our disposal, which we don't think is really a comprehensive record of everything. But should this topic resurface, which I got the impression from a quote from the mayor, and Mayor, I apologize, it wasn't a direct quote, but one of the news articles said that this could be resurfaced in the future, that the topic could come back to the table. I want to make sure that we're all looking at like similar documents from the same place and it's all part of the record. So forgive me, it's like 25 pages. I know it's going to be a lot of photocopies and things by the time it makes its way to your printers, but I'd really like to see this included in entirety. I also want to thank Councilmember Grubb for at the last meeting acknowledging our presence here at this meeting and sharing your perspective that you agreed with us about the unfairness to the existing current homeowners that are not on undeveloped farmland that was featured as the presentation was shared with you. There are people who live there and people like Nancy who have lived there a very long time, and I appreciate your comments. I also want to thank Councilmember Marino for asking for transparency and dialogue. I think all of us are really looking forward to talking to you about how we can plan for a better future together, but we can only do that when you talk to us, not just send emails to other people that we have to find in a roundabout way. I think that's it, except I want to congratulate Mr. Spock on his new job. I think it's all the more important for us to have this common document so we won't have his sort of tribal knowledge here at our table anymore. Thank you for your service. I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, one more thing. As you do look at the documents, I wanted to call a couple of items to your attention that maybe we did not bring up the last time. The first was some questions and corrections from the October 9th email that withdraws the proposal from the county. There are a couple of things where I think my interpretation of the facts may be different a little bit from what was in the email. So I'm just noting that. And the second was a question about closed sessions that Council Member Marino mentioned at the last meeting. You mentioned that the topic was discussed in closed session. To me, the interpretation of what can be discussed at closed session is different than what the boundary line agreement would really fall into. So there are some questions about that I would just direct your attention to when you get these packets. Thanks.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question about that.
Oh, we're not going to.
Are we
Sure.
done with it?
Do we have an electronic copy of that, or could we? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Is it since the county voted it down, it's done?
They didn't vote it down.
Our application.
Who withdrew? We did?
Yeah.
Well, how did the county vote?
They didn't vote.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yes.
This body has not done that. Therefore, we are assuming that it's still an open issue until you make a decision.
It's not an open, I mean, we have no plans to proceed with anything right now. Yeah. It's council, I mean, if you want to get we could have a different council next year and they could come back and whatever we decide now just isn't binding on any other future thing. This could come back up again. That's what when I said to it can always be revisited, but we can certainly vote and do it, but that's not going to, if you want to do that, we'll bring it up at the next meeting. It's not going to help anything. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
They also,
Right.
that vote, gave directives saying that if the topic were to resurface, they would have to restart the public hearing process.
Yes, that's definite. No question about that.
Exactly.
You sent us all a letter.
Right.
At the beginning of September, very little notice, telling us of your intent to accept an agreement on a boundary line agreement. At the last meeting, you decided to delay the vote. And now it's just all gone. And the town council is just asking now, like, when was the letter sent and by whom? Like, it's very hard for me to understand if you have a unified position on the proceedings discussed in a public forum.
Right.
Yes.
The motion was withdrawn because there was the county wasn't gonna, gonna support it, but we can have a meeting.
Not withdraw that motion. No, Matt says.
Yeah, we
No,
withdrew we withdrew the request for a boundary line adjustment.
Yeah.
The town council did, yeah.
No, the town council did not.
Well,
We were recommended
Yeah,
by our leadership in town
Right, yeah.
office that it would be appropriate to remove at this
right.
point.
We can have a vote and I understand what you're saying. We can certainly have a vote at the next meeting and to formally do that, yes. Yeah, yeah, but my point is that, this could come back up again and we'd have to go through the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because we vote to rescind it doesn't mean it can't come back up again. I understand you want to get closure, but
Yes.
it's not going to give you I understand what you're saying. And we'll certainly do that, if that makes sense. We can do that right now. Well, let's do it right now. Yeah, okay. Well, I think the only thing we need to do is withdraw, we move to withdraw our retroactively withdraw our our request for a boundary line adjustment. So,
I'll move.
we got a couple more comments. We'll do that. Can we do that? That later on. No, I think you're right. We should have done that formally. Dana Simpson,
They left.
he left. Okay. Bonnie Warren. Yeah.
Good evening. Bonnie Warren, 25133 Tower Road. My comments are the letter that we had to search up to figure out what was happening because, again, nothing was being told to us. Mr. Spuck sends a letter to Mr. Mason saying specifically 9 parcel owners expressed opposition, while the owner of 5 parcels submitted a letter in support. Well, I'd like to make a point out and say the said owner doesn't live on any of those 5 parcels. And I'm not sure if the reference to have 5 parcel makes him more special, but it doesn't. Matt also said in a letter that our concerns were about paying taxes. Again, we pay taxes. This was and is still about the first letter we received in the mail had paperwork that looked like this was already a done deal before even ever being discussed in a public forum. We all bought our property out of town, not to live in a town. We have asked questions, still no answers to any of those questions. Town has not been open about this process at all. We as a group have had to do this legwork to find anything involving this BLA that is off of Liberty Street, Hill Street, and Tower Road. On the WBOC, it says the mayor said the town council sent the letter to the board of supervisors because it thought the agreement needed more consideration and was not off the table. So my question is, what is it, on or off the table? We as a group want an answer, and I want my minutes submitted again, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Bill?
So, Bill Burnham, 46 Kerr Street, speaking on behalf of the Onancock Business and Civic Association. I just wanted to give you an update. Last month, we came and got your clearance for renovating the sign down at the Onancock Wharf. So it's a job completed, and feel free to go down and take pictures. I wanted to acknowledge like 3 really key people. Diane Perenick from Market Street, Dana Simpson, who refurbished the sign to like top quality. And Jeff Vernib for really just kind of being that thing was like, get it done. So, and I just wanted to kind of give you that good news. It's all good. It
Thank you.
does.
Sign does look
Yeah,
nice.
and it would be, I should actually then also say Willie Ennis, who grew up on King Street, did all the work, and it's a fine, fine job. So just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other public comment? Good. Ms.
Diana Harrison, and I'm speaking for Nancy Hoskinson, 19557 Castro Road. And I wasn't planning on speaking. However, when this gentleman here stated better communication was needed, I just started typing. And then better communication was needed, it would help stifle any assumptions that are being made. Because when no communication happens, assumptions start being made. You followed the minimum requirements of the Virginia law regarding notification of property owners. Where I see there's been a failure is in being cognizant of the stress you inflicted on the property owners without apology. Since the last meeting regarding the BLE, there was no further communication. The questions were not answered but were ignored. The owners know about the letter withdrawing the BLA, not because of common courtesy by sending a copy of that letter to the property owners. They had to search for it, and that's how they found it. And then I'm not going to comment on your comment because it's already been commented that it wasn't off the table. However, I would suggest if this happens again, that you go on some websites and look how other counties and towns handled the property owners and the information they provided regarding the BLA. Because some of them will do a really, really good job putting that information out. So that's my comment.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay, Mayor's report. I guess we need to put this, we can bring a motion up here to formally withdraw our application kind of retroactively. Do we have a motion to do that?
Sure, I move that we retroactively send a letter to the county to withdraw our request for the boundary line adjustment.
Second,
Second it.
discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And I think the people from the area, you have a right. We probably should have notified, definitely should have sent you something, we withdrew it. In retrospect, there was probably no reason to include your properties in the BLA to start with. Yeah, I think we could have sidestepped a lot of issues, with that. And it was, I apologize, we probably didn't do our due diligence on that one. But it's formally withdrawn. Yeah. Okay. Mayor's report. Well, as many of you know, Matt is leaving in 5 years. I don't know, 5.5 years, and just moving up in the world. He's going. I'll tell you, I'm really excited for him at his new job, and we're going to be miss him greatly. I know Northampton's going to be, getting a good guy, and I'm just wish him well. In terms of a new town manager, we're going to have a closed session to we would like to council's express interest in hiring an interim town manager to come in and help us until we can hire a new town manager to go through a search process. Sometimes that can take anywhere from 2 to 4 months. So the council has to decide that. We're going to interview in a closed session or talk about a candidate that's interested in being the interim. So that's how we're going forward. But we haven't voted on anything officially, but we'll keep you up on what's going on with that. I attended the VML along with Lisa over here, the VML at the Virginia Municipal League annual meeting up in Roanoke a couple weeks ago. They also had a day-long Mayor's Institute. Really good chance to meet other mayors, other council people, see what other people are having the problems, so we don't have to keep reinventing the wheel. I learned a lot of good stuff. Hopefully we can put it into practice. Lisa and I have taken a lot of notes, and we'll hopefully, I think that one of the biggest things I came back with is that we need to come up with we're going to have a good town plan that's going to come out after a year, but we need a strategic plan after that so that we can implement it. What do we have as a vision? I think we need to look at that. How are we going? the town plan is the first step. A strategic plan, it directs how we implement what we want to do, needs to be developed. And in the next year, I think we all need to work on that, definitely. The sign at the wharf looks great. Thank you so much, guys. That really did a great job on that. I'd like to, the Halloween thing, that was great. I had a wonderful time at the Halloween. Thought it was really, really fun. I wasn't here last year, but just looks like it's growing every year. Some little kinks, I think we can work out of it. We're going to have we should have a post session to get together and, so we can go over with people. But I'd like to thank the Brockmeyers, Priscilla, Jeff, Bill, Mary Burnham, Maggie Grant. Main Street was involved. Dana Simpson was the main push. She's already gone. So, just did a great job. It's just a lot of fun.
May I make one comment, Fletcher?
Yeah.
Kelly let me know that the harbor was sold out this past weekend because of that event.
Oh, wonderful. That's good.
So I think that's a very upward momentum for Halloween in this town.
Well, I mean, yeah, it kind of reminds me of the St. Patrick's. It started off, and then we keep it going. It was a lot of fun. Yeah. All righty, that's all I have. Town manager's report. Last one.
Everybody. The financials are starting on page 32, the summary. We're 25% through the year, and our revenue is 24% of the total revenue. Slightly behind is administration. We're only 12% of revenue, but that's because taxes our tax season hasn't started yet. And let me chat on that for a minute. Taxes are going to be mailed out, I'm going to say no later than November 17th. We just got the file from the county, and they're technically due 12/5. That's by state law. So what we're going to do is waive late fees until January 5th to make sure that we give people at least 30 days to pay without penalty. So that.
State code I thought state code also addressed when they had to be out.
Yeah, 10 days before the due date.
That's it?
That's
Okay,
it.
I thought
Yeah.
it was earlier.
No, 10.
So that brings up to 24% of 25% revenue. We're at 28% of expenses versus 25%. It's slightly higher in the wharf simply because they were open. They're about to close from November through March. So the expenses will be zero, and they'll obviously taper down as a percentage of the total year. Building and streets, we were heavy, and just from some bigger repairs that we didn't expect, some paving was done at the beginning of the fiscal year. So other than that, there's nothing in there that's anomalous. I don't see anything coming that should be a surprise or disrupt our budget. On page 47 is our cash position. This year, we've got 5.5 million in cash and reserves. Last year, we had 5.3 million, which is an increase of 5% in cash flow and liquidity. All of our required reserves are covered with a slight overage. Our CapEx and grant activity was very slow this month for a few different reasons. So there hasn't been any change in any of the year-to-date expenditures for any of our capital expenditure items. There's a lot of work going on, but not a lot of expenditures going on. We've got 2 projects remaining with the ARPA funds. The basketball court ran over budget, so we're going to have to trim back on what we were planning to do at Town Square. So we have $39,000 left to spend. We had $5,000 for the $5,250 for the irrigation system, and about $2,000 for the grass restoration. There's going to be some more expenses coming because we have to put a new supply line in for the Town Square's irrigation system, because what's there, I think it's copper line and it got crimped underneath the sidewalk, so it's not putting out the pressure we need. So we have to bypass that and just put a new line in. Victor's got the order for that. It's not that materially expensive, but we're going to have to get a VDOT permit because that's not an emergency road repair, and we're going to have to dig into the road in all likelihood. The Northeast Revitalization Grant, we've submitted everything that's been submitted to us. We've been reimbursed for everything except $9,764. So that's moving in the right direction. And that's about it. My manager's report, let me just skim through this here. The wayfinding sign, we've gotten responses back from VDOT as to what they're suggesting. Some of those suggestions are not clear and not helpful. But Sarah has it. She's responsible for the wayfinding committee, and she's looking for suggestions for 2 of the signs, and I think that we've got some reasonable recommendations for her. Irrigation systems I just mentioned, and there's going to be a new line. Cindy's managing the Queen Street project. You all saw that. Planning Commission is holding its public invitation for comment on the upcoming comprehensive plan next week at 165 Market Street on November 3rd at 6 p.m. In the meantime, you've already been notified that the Eller property application for rezoning was denied by them. The developer has since withdrawn his application, but he is going to be submitting in all likelihood a by right plan. Water meter replacement. On November 10th, we're going to start receiving the product. All of the meters are going to be put inside the fence where the water tower is located. And then starting on the 17th, they're going to start doing the installation. I don't know where they're starting, but what we are going to do is put rack cards in, or I'm sorry, not rack cards, door hangers on every parcel that has an upcoming replacement. So within 7 days, you're going to get a door hanger on your door to let you know that it's coming. And it has instructions on it. It has contact information on it. It's thoughtfully prepared. So that's what we're using there.
So
And
Matt,
then,
excuse me, you're saying when this goes on our door, they will be there within 7 days?
Yeah.
Okay.
and then I just want to thank everybody for my time here. I've appreciated it and learned a lot and grown a lot and hopefully left the town in better shape than when I took it. Thank you.
Any questions?
Yeah.
Okay, who,
No,
Sarah?
on
No,
the,
something else.
the taxes.
Yeah.
I recall that in at least some years past, when you've gotten the file, you have found it not to be usable. Have you been able to
We've
check
got-
it enough that it's a good file?
We scrubbed it and sent it off to Southern for their conversion.
Thank you.
They should have that back to us second week in November, which is why we're looking at mailing it at the very beginning of the 3rd week.
So how is this going to affect us getting the supplemental property taxes in too?
I don't think so. We don't get those till.
Usually, we don't
Is it
get that
March?
till March.
Oh, it used to be January. Okay.
Any other questions for Matt? Okay.
Thank you.
Please, first question.
Oh.
When you said it gonna start with the,
November 17.
17?
All right, town council comments, Ashley's gone. No, Ashley, are you up there?
Yeah. You did again.
Any comments, Ashley? Okay, Omar, why don't you go ahead?
Or your pen.
You don't have anything,
Sarah?
except for it. Thank you again for this proposal.
There you go.
Sarah?
Okay. I wanted to echo the comments about the Halloween weekend. I was able to get to more than I had in the past, and it was a lot of fun. So good job on that. Reminder to vote if you haven't yet. Early voting is available at the county registrar's office through Saturday and then on Tuesday of next week at the precinct. And I also want to echo appreciation to Matt and wish you well going forward.
If you want to go back to Ashley.
Ashley,
Yes.
any comments?
Yes, I'd like to echo those same sentiments. I was thankful for the clarification from Matt on the taxes. And also wanted to thank him for his time and service to the town of Anacog, and congratulations on his new endeavor.
Thank you, Ashley.
Cindy?
Yeah, I want to echo those comments. I think Matt has led us through an awful lot of projects through the COVID money. It's been an unusual amount of activity, and all the time I've lived here, You know, mostly it's been pension pennies trying to cover what we felt we had to at the time, but with Matt's progress on all the projects through COVID, it's made a real difference in the town and in all that we're providing to various places and neighborhoods. And I think particularly, Matt, your financial expertise has been extremely valuable for the town. So thank you for all you've done.
I will agree with what Cindy said, and we thank you.
I just want to say thank you for your time and best of luck down in Northampton County. It's not as cool as Onancock, but that's okay.
All right. Do we have a motion to go into closed session?
I move that we move into executive session as allowed by Virginia Code 2.2-3711A1 to discuss the town manager transition.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, thank you. All right. I like to go in the back personally.